Welcome to sunny Spain. We're at Almeria race circuit for the launch of the new BMW S1000R M1000R. What's the other one? S1000RR. The weather's been a bit intermittent, there's a little bit of rain, but I'm sure it'll clear up later on. Subscribe, like, all that stuff, and chop seat. Roll the intro. Well, here we go. It is actually raining. Come to Spain, they said. Ride the M1000R, they said. They could have paid a little bit extra and booked the nice weather. But hey ho, we're going to do a session on the M1000R in the pissing rain. Here goes nothing. So the M1000R, we're trying to do a bit of a review. This is going to be the only chance I've got to ride this bike today. Is this session in the rain. So I'm going to sort of use this time to reacquaint myself with the circuit, the track. We've just had a trip round in the van with Steve. Steve Plater's up in front there. We just had a trip round in the van and he's showing us the lines again. We've only got standard road tyres on, so I think it's just got Dunlop R11s or R10, something like that. So, you know, it's this is certainly going to be very slow and incredibly steady. Let's give it some beans. In rain mode. Got some bloody go for rain mode. Oh, I love the riding position of the S and the M1000R. I love that aggressive riding position over the front of the bike. Really aggressive naked this, and I really like that because it unloads weight off your ass and spreads a little bit across the bars. You just get an amazing feel from the front of the bike. This bike, the front end grip on this machine, the front end, you know, just not grip, but just the feel from the front end on this bike, it's just absolutely incredible. It's trying to pick the front up. We're probably going around slower than what we did in the Transit. For 2025, they've made a few changes to this machine. Obviously you've got the colours, you've got the carbon winglets now on the competition version, but all of the S and M1000 range now have like a quick action throttle, and rather than having, I think, 72 degrees of movement, it's now got 60 degrees of movement, or something like that, which I think it's 74 it used to have. Now it's got 60, so there's 14 degrees less movement, mechanical movement in the throttle. This bend's nasty in the dry, not alone the wet. Even doing a couple of wet laps on this, I could just tell that this would make an absolutely awesome track naked. And it's spacious for a bigger guy. You know, I'm 6'2", 20 stone. It's got, you know, it's a comfortable machine. If we're on wets, this would probably be a lot of fun. But it's, to be honest, it's a little bit scary on road tyres. I'm taking him. I'm having him. Maybe I'm not having him. Oh, I forgot, I've got terrible trouble with this pin lock on the dark visor. Whoopsie daisy, that could become a problem. Little slip from the back then. Visor's steaming up fast. I might have to come in. Oh, those front brakes. That'd be amazing in the dry, absolutely hoikum. We've got Michael Rutter here and his new BSB team. So we've got Storm Stacey, Craig Neve and Steve Plater up in front, and also Taylor McKenzie's here as well. So there's a few motorcycle stars here. So I'm going to make use of them to show me round and work on the lines if it stops raining. If it stops raining. Actually, this is what I should be using this time for, isn't it? I'm not talking to you, so bye-bye. I'm going to concentrate on my lines. Speak to you in pit lane. Well, that's session 1 done on the M1000R. It's absolutely bucketing down now. Look at this. Piddle Central. So it's pointless. There's no point going out in this weather. I mean, all that will happen is my leathers will end up weighing 5 kilos more than they did this morning, and I'll get charged an overweight fee by EasyJet. Not the best of starts to a track day in Almeria. The Spanish weather is broken. It's official. Well, the rain has stopped, the sun has come out, but it's still very, 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 very wet out there. So I'm going to take the double R out. There has been a few changes to this bike this year. Obviously visually you've got the last year's M1000RR wings. These are the same wings which were on the M1000R last year. I think at 186 miles an hour there's 23.1 kilograms of downforce with those wings, so considerable. We're not going to be going 186 miles an hour today. Right, let's take the bike with the best sort of wet weather tyres on, the Metzlers. What are these? Metzler Race Techs. Again, quick action throttle, 14% quicker than the outgo model, so mechanically it only has 60 degrees of movement in the throttle like the M I rode this morning. They've also played around with the engine braking control. So the engine braking control has been adjusted, the mannerisms of it has been adjusted. We'll follow Steve Plater again. God, the pace feel incredibly high. As you can see, track is still very, very wet. So we're going to be very steady here. Got a bit of water on the inside of the visor as well, which is really quite annoying. Bike's still in rain mode again, still really powerful. The front brakes feel very, very sharp. Slow and steady. Doesn't win the race, but it does me for today. Keep off of the paint, or you will die. Get it on the gas. Definitely a bit more physically demanding on a sports bike, I think, than on the naked, and that's why I like nakeds really. Being an old, fat, unfit bastard, even though, you know, this S1000RR is perhaps probably the most comfortable sports bike on the market. The rear sort of playing a bit there. Blipper sounds absolutely incredible. 210 horsepower. I don't know if it's still got 210 horsepower in rain mode, or it's just the throttle response and everything else, which is the traction coming there. Whoa! Amazing, amazing brakes. I was going to give you a rundown on all the technical features of the 2025 BMW S1000RR, but it's quite hard to concentrate and talk shit. The front end does feel incredibly stable. I mean, whether that is anything to do with the wings. I did ride this bike, the 2023 version, around here a couple of years ago at this same event, and I absolutely loved it. say, does it feel more stable than that? It's impossible to tell because, you know, we're riding at wet conditions. I do love this left-hander. This is normally a beautiful knee-down left-hander, this one. And not today, I fear. Whew. That's good. So here she is, the new S1000RR. This is the bikes we're riding today. This is the one which has had most updates for 2025. So at the front end, of course, you can see we have the huge wings. Now these are the same wings which were on the M1000R last year. So last year's M1000R wings. You've got the new brake cooling ducts and front mudguard to feed a bit of air at those calipers. Now these obviously aren't the M brakes on this bike, but they're incredibly sharp, incredibly powerful. You know, literally one finger braking on that. I think that's one of the most impressive things with the new range of super sporty BMWs is the brake performance is absolutely incredible. The motor is unchanged, still 210 horsepower, nearly 14,000 revs now, these rev to. As well as the wings, the actual whole front aero is obviously redesigned as well. The windscreen is 30mm higher than last year's model, so there's a little bit more of a screen. You can see it's quite a tall screen, so you can get right in there, get tucked. Of course, you've also got the grills, the shark grills are back. This version we're riding today, with all the packs on it, I think it's got the sports pack, the dynamic pack, slightly more for this paint scheme as well. Well, this one's worth 19,800 of your English pounds to equip yourselves with one of these beasts. There's the main man, Mr. Rutter. Where's your hat, Storm? Where's your hat, mate?
Oh, we haven't got it, but we've got the suit.
We've got the suit. Look at him there.
This is a discreet suit. This is for secret testing, blacked out, so no one knows it's me.
No one knows it's you.
Yeah, no one knows it's me.
Did you get the boots off?
Completely undercover. Yeah, I got the boots off my granddad.
Boots off your granddad?
Yeah. Granddad, give me them.
You didn't want to get your own ones wet?
No. Trick.
So over, let's give us a wave.
Come on, roll the intro, Tropsy.
Roll the intro. Having a great day.
What a day, what a great day.
To round off the trio of bikes, we have the S1000R. This is the new paint. All the bikes here today have got the new paint schemes, just to show them off basically. Obviously you've got the sports paint also available, you know, the red, white and blue as normal. But this is a really interesting one, I think, for the S1000R, which you could argue the colours were a little bit dull previously. Well, they certainly can't be accused of that now. You've got this sort of fluorescent green subframe now, and this blue. I mean, it sounds like two colours you think may not actually go together, but I think it looks decent. I'm not sure I'd choose it. The S1000R, of course, doesn't have the shift cam, so this is 165 horsepower, more than enough for anyone, I would argue. It's nice to have the bragging rights to say you've got the M, isn't it, with 210 horsepower, but really, real world, insurance reasons as well. I think the insurance on the M can be quite difficult, unless you've got, you know, if you're an old fart like me and you've got a clean licence. I think I've heard rumours that people are struggling to insure the M. As soon as you say it's an M, of course your insurance doubles, just because it's got an M in the title of the bike. So the S1000R really is probably the most sensible choice for most people, but in these colours she does look very, very nice. We have the main man here, of course, Mr. Michael Neves. How are you finding it, Michael?
I mean, first of all, what an honour and a privilege it is to be on your channel.
Don't talk nonsense. Don't talk. We've got a legend on here, absolute legend. Oh, everyone knows Michael Neves. I must say, I must give a bit of shout out to your Q&A channel, mate. You're doing. I've been really enjoying your videos and the Q&A and some real sort of insight from you, you know, and that's when you realise this man does know what he's talking about. You know,
been around the block a few times,
yeah. So how you found it today?
Well, I think it's been quite interesting. I'm not that worried that it's been raining because a lot of the changes on this bike kind of are what you're going to feel at normal speeds rather than flat out, really, because this bike's meant as a road bike. You know, the M is the one that's kind of the track focus one.
Yeah.
So you've got the quicker action throttle, that's nice, it's more direct. you know, both on the throttle and coming off as well. It's easier to shut the throttle. Didn't really feel that extra power because obviously I had it in rain mode.
How did you find the sort of the rider aids and stuff? Did you feel them coming in the wet and
really
leaning
good
on them a bit?
Yeah, so I was in rain mode, but you still got enough power down the back straight.
Power, isn't there?
Yeah, you're not. I was thinking originally, I might have to put it up, but you could barely get it flat out in rain mode down the straight. They're so powerful, these things.
Yeah.
And the traction control is so soft. You know, you can see it flashing all the time. And credit to, I was on Bridgestone S22s in the wet, and they're predictable. You have the traction control. It felt completely safe. It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And you know, the looks. It doesn't look too different, does it really?
No.
I like the one with the yellow frames. It matches my boots.
That's good with the Alpha Styles leathers. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we're just waiting for it to dry out now, aren't we? What are you on for? We've got one more session.
One more session
riding?
on the S1000R again. I'm just concentrating on that.
Oh,
today.
okay, touching on the one bike. Okay. So here is the new colours for the M1000R, looking absolutely gorgeous. This is the aluminium silver, or something they call it. It's like it looks like sort of sheet aluminium, sort of a soft satin aluminium finish. This is obviously the competition pack. So the competition pack, you get a choice now. It's not just black, the competition pack. This is the silver with the competition pack. And of course, with the competition pack, you get all the carbon fibre around the tank. This is slightly different this year. You've got the badging on the top there, which is, that's just not, that sticker is all underneath the clear coat. Looks absolutely gorgeous. And of course, you've got the carbon side panels, carbon mudguard, obviously carbon wheels being the big one. Because yeah, this pack is quite expensive. The wings for 2025 are also carbon fibre. They were plastic on last year's model. And of course, the big news, the important news, is the headlight. You now have a different headlight on the bike. You've got a twin style lights, and personally, I think that looks much, much better than the outgoing model. So yeah, she's looking absolutely gorgeous, and I do like the silver, but I think I would still get the black. I'm not quite sure about the M badging here, whether that really goes or not. I'm not sure. Jury's out on that, but it's an incredible piece of kit, this bike, and I think the total cost for this one, as ridden with the competition pack, all of the billet packs, you know, all of the billet rear sets, look at those, oh, gorgeous. I think this is about, I think it's a £26,000 motorcycle, so she ain't cheap, but she's gorgeous. Well, I really wanted to go out on an S1000R, but they've all gone, so I have to make do with the M1000R. Hey, you've got to make do with these things, aren't you? Hey? It's a tough life, it's a tough gig, this. You know, you've got to make some sacrifices. We just have to make do with the M. Naked riding position is just so much easier and less fatiguing. So I'm super happy to be on there. I love the double R, don't get me wrong, but it's hard work. I think you've got to be bike fit as well. I'm not bike fit for a sports bike at the moment. So I'm quite happy on the M now. Oh, the brakes are absolutely phenomenal on this. He says he's outbraked by Alan Downs. He's a legend, Alan. He's lived in London for 25 years. He still sounds like he's just got off the boat from Scotland. There's my old mate Nevesy. It's Johnny McAvoy. These boys are fast. These boys are fast. Take it steady, Chopsy. Don't get greedy now. I don't like the wet. Blipper. The quick shifter blipper on this bike is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. rain mode, it's going to keep all the traction on a lot. That's the thing, and I want maximum traction. I want the sport dash as well. Oh yeah, feeling it a bit more now. As it's drying, I'm getting more confidence. Short shift it there. This bike's incredible. It's easily as good a bike on track as the Super Duke 1390. Easily. Maybe. Rain mode. Madness. Very, very impressive. So much power in rain mode, it's madness. The last session of the day is when I actually start feeling the track day. Alright, let's go get them. Rain mode, chop, see, rain mode. It's really good. And of course all the traction, everything's softened off. If I do hit a wet patch. Listen to it. So much less fatiguing, so much less tiring on a naked. And as I said when I was riding around in the rain, this riding position is just absolutely spot on. Perfect amount of weight on the wrist. Very, very friendly when there's maybe 210 horsepower, but never have electronics been so impressive. The brakes are absolutely incredible stoppers. Control was just so amazing. Got that completely wrong. So incredible. So incredible, the wheelie control. Really outstanding on this. The front's not even really been coming out. I thought it was because I had it in rain mode, but even in road mode, still no sign of the wheel coming out. Absolutely locked to the road. Well, I think that is me worn out. Even on a M1000R, worn myself out. Big unfit fatty. There we go, M1000R in semi-dry conditions. There we go, end of the day. Brilliant day, despite the terrible weather at the start of the day. And we never had a completely dry track, which was a shame, because to be honest, I wasn't really feeling it today all that much. The last session I started to get into it, but just the odd little wet bit. But you know, the bikes are absolutely amazing. I think what is so impressive with the BMWs is the electronics. I think that's the difference with bikes like my Hornet at £10,000 to bikes sort of getting into the £15,000, £16,000, £17,000 mark, is those electronic packages. We know the Hornet's only got very basic, you know, no IMU, just based on wheel speed. The electronics are going out in those conditions on those bikes today and leaning on it. I mean, I didn't do that much leaning on electronics. I mean, I don't do that much track riding. But Chad, he come back and, you know, the amount of traction, I could hear him wheel spinning and up the main straight, you know, it's absolutely incredible. And he's just pinning it and leaning fully on the electronics, trusting the electronics. And that's the difference with the bikes sort of getting into this price bracket. You've got that more confident, well, you can still, they're not uncrashable by any means, but it's just so sophisticated. And what I like about the BMWs, they're just there in the background. They're not shouting at you. You don't have to think, I've got to do that, I've got to do this. You know, they're just there helping you. And when I had that long-termer S1000RR a couple of years ago, you know, that was my feedback on that bike. Just electronics, they're doing their thing without you having to select the mode, select how much traction you want. It just all seems to work seamlessly. So it's really impressive electronics. The riding position is amazing. Even the throttle response, the rain mode was so, I mean, I left it in rain mode more or less all day. It doesn't reduce the power, but just made it very friendly. Even a 210 horsepower, you know, M1000R felt friendly on the race, on a wet racetrack. So yeah, it's really impressive. I will be borrowing the S1000R and the M1000R again to do a comparison, probably with my Hornet, just to so we can sort of see how it fits in and how it compares to the Hornet. But I will be borrowing again, because they're road bikes. For me, they're real road bikes, which you can then do track days on. So I do want to test it again on the road. So if you want to see those comparisons, see me test those bikes on the road, don't forget, subscribe if you're not already. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. My hat's still wet, the track's still wet. I don't think it's going to dry out for quite some time, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.